Hello, welcome everybody once again. This is the second part of Lab 6 where we are learning to recover and restore and recover the from the loss of control file and data file. My name once again is Billy Efrick. I'm an Oracle certified expert on real application cluster and grid infrastructure. On both 10G and 11G and 12C platform. And I do a lot of Oracle consulting, and a part of the portfolio of our company is to do training, and we have we have lined out very advanced labs to really bring home the concepts that we are teaching. Today we want to talk about, we want to continue. We've already recovered from the loss of the control file and the loss of the data file. And what we want to do right now is to multiplex our control file and our redo log. We're going to create an additional hard drive and then multiplex our redo log and our control file. It's absolutely important that you have already recovered from the loss of the control file and the data file that we deliberately deleted to simulate the loss. All right, and then in the previous section, we used the utility ADRCI to view the alert log, and then we use data recovery advisor RMAN command, list failure or advice failure and repair failure to carry out the repair. But now we want to add an additional 10 gig of hard drive to our virtual machine, and then we will log in as root and then prepare that hard drive to be recognized by Unix. Let's do that. Let's go to the virtual machine. We're going to add additional 10 gig of hard drive to this machine. Where's our machine? Right there. So this is our machine, and we're going to shut it down. I need to bring down everything before I shut it down. SQL plus //DVA shut down immediate. We just don't want to shut down the Unix server without bringing down the database appropriately. Shut down immediate. I'm going to shut down the listener. Listener control, stop the listener. I'm going to bring down enterprise manager, CTL, stop DB console. You could also take a snapshot of this machine so that if you had a problem, if you encounter a problem, you can always kind of go back to the snapshot and restore it. I'm going to do that right away. VMware, I want to take a snapshot before multiplex. So before I multiplexed the redo log as well as the as well as the control file, I took a snapshot. I'm going to bring down this server. I can go ahead here using VMware and shut down this server. Snapshot's been taken, and now the server is going down. I'm going to edit this machine right away because I want to add an additional hard drive. What do I want to add? I want to add hard drive, and it's a SCSI drive. I create a new virtual disk. Yes, that's what I want to do. We are going to create 10 gig of hard drive. Let's take a look at the lab, what it says. Yes, 10 gig. And then we will log in as root and partition it. Okay, so 10 gig of hard drive. I want to store it as a single file. And that's what the file will be called. Finish. So now we have 10 gig of hard drive right there. So now we're going to power on this machine, and then the hard drive, we need to format the hard drive. All right, so okay. So we got 10 gig added, we've added another disk to this machine. Now let's power it on. This is as simple as that. When we power it on, we need to partition the drive. Partition the drive. Partition is like you have a huge warehouse and you can break it into multiple rooms. But in this case, we are not going to break it into multiple rooms. We'll just declare that it's just one room. All right. So this server is coming up. Let me start secure CRT and connect to that server. I'm not too sure which one is the connection to that server. Okay, there we go. And as usual, I like to clone sessions so I have multiple tabs so I can do multiple things at the same time. So now I'm going to log in as root. I'm logging in as root because only root can be doing partitioning of hard drive and all that. Okay, so let me move this to this side so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I logged in as root now, and the instruction is to do an fdisk. So fdisk -L. So this is what is going on here. You have SDA drive, and then you have SDB drive. The SDA drive is the previous drive that we have been using. It has 30 gig of memory. Look at that, SDA, about 30 gig of memory. But the SDB drive, which now has about 10 gig of memory, look at that. is unrecognized, does not contain a valid partition. So we are going to let the operating system go ahead and partition it. F disk dev SDB, which is the new drive we just added. The first one was A, so the new drive is B, and what you need to do is pretty much easy. So the things, the responses in red are what are required. This is a new hard drive, and we want to create a partition, and it will be a primary partition, and we just want one partition. We're not breaking it into multiple rooms. One partition, accept the default, access the default, and then we will write all our responses so that the disk will be appropriately partitioned. And it says the rereading the partition table failed with error 16. Device or resource busy. The kernel still uses old table. The new table will be used as the next reboot. That's why I put this one in there, that if you get this error 16, device or resource busy, don't panic. Just reboot the server. So I'm going to reboot. Reboot. I'm rebooting the server right now. We've rebooted the server. We have reconnected. Rebooted the server and reconnected. Let's go back and log in as root so we can continue taking care of this disk. Right now, if we do an fdisk -L, we see now that we have SDB1, which is the new hard drive we have just added, about 10 gig. It's now available. So now we have partitioned it. We could also throw in this command just to display only that one. Remember again, I told you when you copy directly from Notepad, sometimes some undesired things are put in your results, so double check it. fdisk-L. fdisk-L. We are looking for grep dev SDB. So I just want to display only that one. So there's our SDB right there. All right, moving on. Now we are going to format the new hard drive that we have just created. Like I said, I clear the screen so that I can avoid all the clutter. I'm going to format it with 3/dev/SDB1. So I'm going to format that hard drive right now. And I've formatted the hard drive, and the hard drive is now available. However, this hard drive can be mounted right away. So we are going to mount that hard drive right away. However, I'm going to create a mount point. So we just brought in a new hard drive. Linux is already aware of it, but it has not been mounted yet. So I'm going to create a mount point. Make directory /u02. Okay. So I created a folder called u02 on the root drive. Now I'm going to mount it. Mount /dev/SDB1. Mount it on /u02. And this has been mounted. Now, The disk has been mounted. If I try to confirm it by df-h, you see that new disk hard drive right there. So that's the new hard drive right there, mounted on /u02. If we reboot this server, we will have to mount again. To avoid that, we will edit the content of a particular file to make this mount permanent. So we're going to make this mount permanent by editing this file. vi/etc fs tab. These are all the disks that we have. And then is I for insert. So we're going to say that this SDV1 don't worry about all the details of what this means. All I want you to know is that the sysadmin will usually take care of this. But remember, in this class, we are basically almost doing what the sysadmin would have done. So all you need to do is put these values in this file to say that the SDD1 drive will be mounted on this /u02, and the file system is the ext3, and these are the defaults, and there we go. We do not even have to format it, but it's just a habit with me. I try to follow what is already available. So now that we have made that entry in that file, every time we reboot, that drive will be automatically mounted on U02. Let's change directory to /U02. We now have a new drive mounted on /U02. We are going to make directory. We're going to make a directory where we will multiplex. We will keep the multiplex copy of make directory. -p means you've got to make all the subdirectories as you go if it doesn't exist. Aura, data, ORCL. We made that directory, but Oracle will not be able to use this directory because this directory is owned by root. So now we are going to give ownership to Oracle, who is a member of O-install. We're going to give him the ownership of U02. As a matter of fact, let me give you what is in it. Let me list U02 so that you will see the ownership. So right now, the ownership, root owns U02. So Oracle will not be able to write to it. So I'm changing the ownership of U02 to Oracle. Now that I've done that, let me go and do that command again. So you see now that U02 is now owned by Oracle. We've changed it. And then we are going to give permissions, chmod, change mode, -r means that it should be recursive throughout that folder, U02. So now Oracle now has full access to that drive right there. So we just added a new drive to our server. We partitioned it, we formatted it, we mounted it. We made the mount permanent, and at this point, you can actually reboot, but there's really no strong need to do so. We're going to log in as Oracle. Let me exit as root, because now we have that drive available. We're going to start the listener. Let's start the listener. So we just started the listener. It supports no service because no database is running. We're going to go to the new location that we just created, change directory /u02/app/aura data/orcl. What is going on? Am I missing something? I think I'm missing something. Slash Oracle. After apps, we have Oracle. Whenever you have an error, take a quick look. To be double sure of what is going on. It's likely the man in front of the computer is the one causing the error. All right. So we are going to copy one of the, remember our database is still down. So all our control files are exactly the same at this point. So we are going to copy our control file from the, our control file 1 from Oracle base, Oracle underscore base, Aura data, the seed of the database. So this is the control file 1. It's unchanged because our database right now is down. So control file 1 is unchanged. .ctl. We're going to copy it and call it control 3. Control 03. So we want to create a third control file. So now we're just doing an operating system copy. And we got it now. Look at it right there. Control 03. Now, the database is not aware that there's a third control file. So let's go ahead and start this database in no mount mode. SQL plus /6VBA. We are starting it in no mount mode. So we are starting it in no mount mode and then start up no mount. At this stage of no mount, it reads the parameter file. So it reads the parameter file. There's a very easy way of doing this. I could have just altered system and then set the new control file location. However, I want to show you how to recreate the parameter file. First of all, let's even see what that parameter is saying. Show parameter control underscore file. So where are the control files? Right there. So control file 1 is there. Control file 2 is there. So this database right now officially does not know that there is a control file 3, except we change this control file parameter and tell it, look, expect control file 3. We already put it there. It's an exact replica of control file 1 and control file 2. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to create a temporary parameter file. A temporary parameter file. Watch this. So I'm going to create a text edition of your server parameter file. Create p file equal to, put it in this location, temp slash my temp.aura, and then this is going to be from my server parameter file. So create it from the existing server parameter file. So a file will be created right there. So now we are going to shut down the database. Since the control file was not open, no data file was open, there's no point in doing shutdown immediately. We can actually do shutdown, abort, and nothing will happen. So with VI, we need to go to that location where we have this file, okay? And then change the entries in this file to reflect the third control file that we now have. Okay, vi slash temp slash my temp.aura. That's what that file was. And if you scroll down, there is our parameter for control file. So it simply says that we have It simply says that we have two control files. Look at that. Be careful here. Be very, very careful. So it says we have two control files. Look at the quotes and then look at the comma. So I'm just going to follow this format. That after the second one is mentioned, after the second one, I for insight, comma, single quote, same, make sure it's the exact same quote, that in this location, we now have control file 03. Quote closes, and that's it. So we have added a third one. So this is our parameter file, the temporary one, the text edition of it. Escape, right, quit. So now we have modified the temporary parameter file. So now we are going to start our database with the temporary parameter file. We are not starting this database with the SP file. We are going to start with the temporary parameter file we have just modified. Okay, we're going to do start up, no mount. If I press enter here, it would use the old parameter file. But now I want you to use the modified text version of it, the server parameter file that we have just edited, my temp.aura. Okay, so start this database with this temporary parameter file. Could not open, okay, something is wrong. I forgot the slash in front of temp. That slash right there. And the database is going to start in no mount mode. All right, it started with the modified parameter file. Let's just show parameter again so that you can see that now we have the third parameter file already in place. So in this, we have control file 03 that we have just added. So the database is now officially aware that there is a control file 03. All right, fine. Now we are going to replace the server parameter file. Let's go to the folder where it is. Where is it? Change directory, Oracle _home /dbs. This is where your parameter file is. So there's our parameter file, sp file seed.aura. I can actually afford to remove it. Remove sp file seed.aura. Copy paste that. So the server parameter file for that database is gone. So we're going to create a new one from memory, because now we have loaded it from a temporary file. Create sp file from memory. Okay, file created. Let's go take a look at what's going on here. If I do an ls, the server parameter file that we just deleted, a new one is back. Okay, and I'm going to just go ahead and shut down. Well, I don't even need to shut down Abort. I can go ahead now. Well, I need to shut down Abort so that I can start this database with the actual SP file that we just created. So now I'm going to do start up to start it up with the SP file we just created. Now that's coming up. That's coming up. That's coming up. And now the database is being mounted, and the database is going to be open right now for read-write. Database is open for read-write. So what we have done is that we have successfully, oh, by the way, I did delete my previous sp file.aura. But in this lab, I recommended that you move it. You move it somewhere just in case, you know. But I am confident that I would be able to recreate it. So I deleted it in the video. But you can move yours. All right. So we already started the listener, and then let's pause for a minute because in the third video I will be multiplexing the redo log. What we have done now is that we have multiplexed the control file. So we have a third control file on a separate disk. So now the next thing is we will be multiplexing the redo log. So we will have redo log 1 having two redo log group 1, redo log group 2, redo log group 3. Each group having 2 redo logs. All right. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next video.